Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and my kitchen corner. We're here again. I can never get rid of her, and she can never get rid of me. But what I wanted to talk about today is the idea of hope, because I think hope is so important right now, especially in the times that we're living in, because there's so many problems, and I think to fight against that and to fight against all this darkness and negativity, I think hope is like one bright light that people can still hold on to. And I think not only that, I think community is also very important because I feel like it strengthens people's hope. Like, for example, you're going through troubles and you need to talk to someone. You have a community to talk to. Be like, hi, call up a friend, be like, hi, I'm going through something, can I talk to you about it? Or even externally as well. With, for example, BLM is like a big example of like a group of people who have the hope to change something and therefore are going together, creating a community and storming forward with their goal. And it did change. It did help. Although, darkness and negativity can be quite effective, but so can happiness and so can hope. Which is why I was going to say, if you find yourself in lack of hope or in lack of community, I think it's another cause for self-reflection, is in you should kind of observe where you are, who you are at the moment, and see, am I where I want to be? Am I surrounding myself with the people who I think are giving me like good influences and are making me feel positive and happy about who I am? Because if not, then I think the only thing you can do is change. Because if you don't, then you're going to stay stagnant. Then you're never going to change, and it's never going to get better. Because you play the same games, you get the same results, you get the same prizes. Like you can't expect different things from the same things. You get me? But I say that, but then doing that and finding hope in, finding community is very hard. And I think it honestly, it just depends on whether you truly know yourself. Like you truly know, this is me and this is what I want to be surrounded with. And that is a slow process to get to know yourself and to know just who you are and therefore who you want to hang out with and who you want to interact with. Because, and I think also trying stuff really helps, because you got to experience things. You can't just sit down and be like, oh, nothing's happening, oh, I'm really upset, and then just kind of immerse, because it does feel good. I can't deny it feels good to just like kind of brood in your feelings, but then you're never going to get anywhere. You're just going to feel bad overall because you're not doing anything, but also you feel bad and then you don't want to do anything, and it's kind of a cycle. But I think just getting out there and trying. But also, I think I said this before in my last video, but to stop letting other people, like, to not care how people perceive you. Because there is an element of like, oh, well, I want to do this, but I'm scared because what if they see it and stuff like that. And it's like, you're not only you holding yourself back, but you're letting irrelevant people, clearly people you don't respect and don't like, to have an effect on you. And it's just, it's sad. Sad. There's other words I could use, but I can't think of them right now. So I'm gonna say sad. It's upsetting because, of course, you should know you are of worth. Like you are worthy of whatever you want to go for. That's just, you have to push yourself to do that, because things can't come to you. You have to go run and get them. Like that's you have to go get it. But if people will negatively perceive you, they just will. Like, if people want to believe, people want to say bad things about you, they just will, whether or not you're aware of it. So, and it's, if you're not aware of it, if you think you're just walking through life, there is a certain amount of self-awareness on both sides. Self-awareness, and it's not obliviousness, there's like another word, but just the opposite of that, like self-awareness on both sides. To be self-aware that people can hate on you, and they probably will, because you can't walk around in life like being absolutely loved, because that's not possible, I don't think. If you're being your true self, people will be against that, and you just have to learn to live with it, because you can't let other people, other like other entities just affect you like that, and other energies affect you like that, because it's like you're above that, you know. But what I was gonna say, who cares? Who cares? You know? And that's the thing. If you're around the right community and you have enough hope, then you wouldn't care about those people who are saying rude things about you, who are, you know, bullying you, who are bringing up stuff in the past and things like that. Like, it wouldn't matter, because you would have a community behind you to support you, and you'd have hope in yourself, and you'd be able to support yourself too. So it's, who cares? And I know it's easier said than done, but it is a long process, and you'll know when you're ready for it. You know, because I used to, I because I always I always try to have good intentions when I'm like, someone's like upset, and I'm like, you know, trying to give them the pep talks and things like that. But I remember seeing something, like a quote somewhere, probably on Pinterest, because I'm always on there. Ugh. But I love Pinterest. I'm not going to judge Pinterest. But the quote was like something along the lines of, you know, you'll know when you know, you know. But kind of it talked about how people will only grow and people will only act when they're ready to. You know, you can't force that upon someone. You can't just say a bunch of inspirational things, however inspirational and how good intention you may be. It doesn't really matter, because, you know, if they're not ready, they're not ready, and therefore they will wait. Like, they will not, it won't absorb into them. And I've kind of experienced that with other people, where I have, you know, been like, hey, you can do it, you know, I don't get why you're hating on yourself, you're better than that. And they've been like, yeah, but da da da. And it's like, I kind of had to sit back and understand that maybe, like, they're on their own path. Like, I can't influence them on what they're doing. And therefore, you know, I can support them from far away, and they can come need me if they want, but I can't impose my, you know, like, my kind of thought system on them, because they might not get with it. You know, they might not be open to it yet, or maybe never, you know, because everyone lives a different life. But back to hope, because hope can literally change a life. Like, I think, like, I've seen so many, because as you know, I'm very much on spirituality, YouTube and things like that. I still am, but you know, it's gotten better. I've been watching more Minecraft, but we're not going to talk about that. But guys, honestly, Minecraft is quite fun. But that's not the point, because like, I'd like read the comments sometimes. They'd be like things like, oh, I used to be homeless and now I own 2 houses and things like that. And it's like, I think the difference is with that is that so I had a little interruption. But what I was saying is that they'd be giving big inspirational speeches about how much their lives have changed. And I think the factor was that they had hope, and they watched these videos and they believe that, you know, maybe their life can change, and therefore it did change. Of course, that comes with luck and things like that, but hope is very much a big factor, because for, you know, you could be lucky, you could like go out one day, win the lottery, but the real thing was having the hope of getting up and buying that ticket and doing that. I'm not supporting gambling, because of course, do that at your own risk, like, you know, play responsibly, but you know, like, it's that hope to get up and be like, I hope I win. Therefore, I'm going to buy the ticket and do that. It's the action. It's the acting of it, you know? That's the main part of it, to act and not to just let life pass you by, you know? But anyways, that's all I have. But the ending note of this is, see your life from a different perspective. Because maybe you're okay. Because maybe you are okay, you know? Like, maybe it's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay. If you just take it one step at a time. Oh, don't know why my voice like that. Take it one step at a time, you know, take life in your stride, don't overwhelm yourself, you know? Because I found that that's usually what happens, is that I look too forward into the future, and then I start panicking, being like, I'm not doing enough because I could do this, I need this, I need to start driving, I need to start paying attention, I need to find a job, which of course I'm still looking for a job. But, you know, that's not the point, because I'm taking it in my stride, and I'm not, you know, overwhelming myself and just overriding it all. And if you are already doing that, then go ahead, and don't compare yourself to other people, because like, I have some friends who are, you know, doing all that stuff there. They've got jobs, they're driving and things like that, and it's just that thing of knowing they're working differently, and them being able to work like that, that's them, you know, and I can respect that. And it's nice to have like variation in your community and to have people who live different lifestyles but are still happy with it at the end of the day. But yeah, what I want to say is, yeah, maybe you're okay. Have some hope, you know? That's the ending of the video. I'll talk to you guys later. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Fingers crossed. Please. 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 Bye.